Toda.
All right, everybody, let's get settled in. Let's get started on our lecture for the day. I hope everybody had a good couple of days. First week of school. I know it's been a lot. All right, let's jump right into the material here. Today is going to be about functional organization of the humanoid body and control of the internal environment. I hope everybody did their reading over the weekend. Anyway, so where do we begin with this? Let's see. Magical physiology or magophysiology is the science that seeks to explain the physical and chemical mechanisms that are responsible for the origin, development, and progression of magic and life. Each type of life, from the simplest virus to the largest tree or the complicated humanoid, has its own functional characteristics. Therefore, the vast field of physiology in general can be divided into viral, bacterial, cellular, plant, invertebrate, vertebrate, mammalian, humanoid, and many other subdivisions. The science of humanoid physiology attempts to explain the specific characteristics and mechanisms of the body that make it a living, magical being. The fact that we remain alive is the result of complex control systems. So, hunger makes us seek food, fear makes us seek refuge, sensations of cold make us look for warmth. Other forces cause us to seek fellowship and to reproduce. And the fact that we are sensing, feeling, and knowledgeable beings is part of this automatic sequence of life. These special attributes allow us to exist under widely varying conditions that otherwise would make life impossible. Magophysiology links the basic sciences with medicine and integrates multiple functions of the cells, tissues, and organs into the functions of the magical being. This integration requires communication and coordination by a vast array of control systems that operate at every level, from the genes that program synthesis of molecules to the complex nervous and hormonal systems that coordinate functions of cells, tissues, and organs throughout the body. Thus, the coordinated functions of the magical body are much more than the sum of its parts, and life in health as well as in disease states relies on this total function. So, although the main function of this class in particular is on normal magical physiology, we will also discuss to some extent magopathophysiology, which is the study of disordered magical function and the basis for clinical magical medicine. Now, I know everyone is excited to understand how magic works in each of us, but to get to that point of understanding, there's other information that needs to be known, like homeostasis. The basic living unit of the body is the cell. So each tissue or organ is an aggregate of many different cells held together by intercellular supporting structures. Each type of cell is specially adapted to perform one or a few particular functions. For example, the red blood cells. You have about 25 trillion in each person, transports oxygen from the lungs to the tissues. Although the red blood cells are the most abundant of any single type of cell in the body, there are also trillions of additional cells of other types that perform functions different from those from the red blood cell. The entire body then contains about 35 to 40 trillion cells. The many cells of the body often differ markedly from one another, but all have certain basic characteristics that are alike. For example, oxygen reacts with carbohydrate, fat, and protein to release the energy required for all cells to function and for magic to occur. Furthermore, the general chemical mechanisms for changing nutrients into energy are basically the same in all cells, and all cells deliver products of their chemical reactions into surrounding fluids. Almost all cells also have the ability to reproduce additional cells of their own type. Fortunately, when cells of the particular type are destroyed, the remaining cells of this type usually generate new cells until the supply is replenished. In addition to humanoid cells, There are trillions of microbes that inhabit the body, living on the skin and the mouth, the gut, the nose. The gastrointestinal tract normally contains a complex and dynamic population of 400 to 1,000 species of microorganisms that outnumber our humanoid cells. So, communities of microorganisms that inhabit the body, often called microbiota, can cause diseases, but most of the time they live in harmony with their humanoid hosts and provide vital functions that are essential for everything, essentially, especially survival of their hosts. Although the importance of gut microbiota in the digestion of foodstuffs is widely recognized, additional roles for the body's microbes and nutrition, immunity, access to magic energy in the weave, and other functions are just beginning to be appreciated and represent an intensive area of biomedical research. About 50 to 70% of the adult humanoid body is fluid, mainly a water solution of ions and other substances, although most of this fluid is inside the cells and is called intracellular fluid. About 1/3 is in the spaces outside the cells and is called extracellular fluid. This extracellular fluid is in constant motion throughout the body. It's transported rapidly in the circulating blood and then mixed between the blood and tissue fluids by diffusion through the capillary walls. And the extracellular fluid are the ions and nutrients needed by the cells to maintain life. Thus, all cells live in essentially the same environment, the extracellular fluid. For this reason, the extracellular fluid is also called the internal environment of the body, or the milieu intérieur, a term introduced by the great Elvish physiologist Bernard. Cells are capable of living and performing their special functions as long as the proper concentrations of oxygen, glucose, different ions, amino acids, fatty substances, and other constituents are available in this internal environment. The extracellular fluid contains large amounts of sodium, chloride, bicarbonate ions, plus nutrients for the cell. So oxygen, glucose, fatty acids, amino acids. It also contains carbon dioxide that is being transported from the cells to the lungs to be excreted, plus other cellular waste products that are being transported to the kidneys for excretion. The intracellular fluid contains large amounts of potassium, magnesium, phosphate ions instead of the sodium and chloride ions found in the extracellular fluid. So these special mechanisms for transporting ions through the cell membranes maintain that concentration differences between extra and intracellular fluids. So about 100 years ago, the humanoid physiologist Walter Cannon coined the term homeostasis to describe the maintenance of nearly constant conditions in the internal environment. Essentially, all organs and tissues of the body perform functions that help maintain these relatively constant conditions. For example, the lungs provide oxygen to the extracellular fluid to replenish the oxygen used by the cells. The kidneys maintain constant ion concentrations, and the gastrointestinal system provides nutrients while eliminating waste from the body. The various ions, nutrients, waste products, and other constituents of the body are normally regulated within a range of values rather than fixed values. For some of the body's constituents, this range is extremely small. Variations in the blood hydrogen ion concentration, for example, are normally less than 5 nanomoles per liter, which is 0.000000005 moles per liter. The blood sodium concentration is also highly tightly regulated, normally varying only a few millimoles per liter, even with large changes in sodium intake, but these variations of sodium concentration are at least 1,000,000 times greater. Powerful control systems exist for maintaining concentrations of sodium and hydrogen, ions as well as for most of the other ions, nutrients, and substances in the body at levels that permit the cells, tissues, and organs to function and perform their normal duties, despite wide environmental variations and changes from injury and disease. Normal body functions require integrated actions of cells, tissues, organs, multiple nervous, hormonal, local control systems that together contribute to homeostasis and good health. Disease, though, is often considered to be a state of disrupted homeostasis. So, however, even in the presence of disease, homeostatic mechanisms continue to operate and maintain vital functions through multiple compensations. In some cases, these compensations may lead to major deviations of the body's functions from the normal range, making it difficult to distinguish the primary cause of the disease from the compensatory responses. For example, diseases that impair the kidney's ability to excrete salt and water may lead to high blood pressure, which initially helps return excretion to normal so that a balance between intake and renal excretion can be maintained. This balance is needed to maintain life, but over long periods of time, the high blood pressure can damage various organs, including the kidneys, causing even greater increases in blood pressure and more renal damage. Thus, homeostatic compensations that ensue after injury, disease, or major environmental challenges to the body may represent trade-offs that are necessary to maintain vital body functions, but in the long term contribute to additional abnormalities. The discipline of majopathophysiology seeks to explain how the various physiological processes are altered in diseases or injury resulting from MAGIC specifically. So going back a little bit, extracellular fluid is transported through the body in two stages. The first is movement through blood of the body and through the blood vessels. The second is movement of fluid between the blood capillaries and the intercellular spaces between the tissue cells. All the blood in the circulation traverses the entire circuit of an average humanoid once each minute when the body is at rest, and as many as 6 times a minute when a person is extremely active. So as blood passes through these blood capillaries, continual exchange of extracellular fluid occurs between the plasma portion of your blood and the interstitial fluid that fills the intercellular spaces. The capillary walls are permeable to most molecules in the blood plasma, with the exception of plasma proteins, which are too large to pass through readily. Therefore, large amounts of fluid and its dissolved constituents diffuse back and forth between the blood and the tissue spaces. So this process of diffusion is caused by kinetic motion of the molecules in the plasma and interstitial fluid. That is, the fluid and dissolved molecules are continually moving and bouncing in all directions in the plasma and fluid, as well as through capillary pores. So few cells are located more than 50 micrometers from a capillary, which ensures diffusion of almost any substance from the capillary to the cell within a few seconds. Thus, the extracellular fluid everywhere in the body is continually being mixed, thereby maintaining homogeneity of extracellular fluid throughout the body. Each time blood passes through it, the body, it also flows through the lungs, and the blood picks up oxygen in alveoli, thus acquiring the oxygen needed by the cells. The membrane between the alveoli and the lumen of the pulmonary capillaries is only about 0.4 to 2 micrometers thick, and oxygen rapidly diffuses by molecular motion through that. A large part of the blood is pumped by the heart, also passes through the walls of the gastrointestinal tract. Here, different dissolved nutrients, including carbohydrates, fatty acids, and amino acids, are absorbed from ingested food into the extracellular fluid of the blood. Not all substances absorbed from the GI tract can be used in their absorbed form by the cells, which is where the liver comes in. The liver changes the chemical composition of many of these substances to more usable forms, and other tissues of the body, fat cells, gastrointestinal mucosa, kidneys, endocrine glands, they help modify the absorbed substances or store them until they are needed. The liver also eliminates waste products produced in the body and toxic substances that are ingested. Were it not for the muscles, the body could not move to obtain the foods required for nutrition. The musculoskeletal system also provides motility for protection against adverse surroundings, without which the entire body, along with its homeostatic mechanisms, could be destroyed. So, at the same time that blood picks up oxygen in the lungs, carbon dioxide is released from the blood into the lungs. The respiratory movement of air into and out of the lungs carries carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, which is the most abundant of all of the metabolism products. Passages of blood through the kidneys removes most of the other substances from the plasma besides carbon dioxide that are not needed by the cells. And these substances include different end products of cellular metabolism, such as urea or uric acid. They also include excesses of ions and water from the food that accumulate in the extracellular fluid. So the kidneys perform their function first by filtering large quantities of plasma through the glomerular capillaries into the tubules and then reabsorbing into the blood substances needed by the body: glucose, amino acids, appropriate amounts of water, and many of the other ions that the body has and needs. Most of the other substances that are not needed by the body, especially metabolic waste, products such as urea and creatinine, are reabsorbed poorly and pass through the renal tubules into the urine. Undigested material that enters the GI tract and some waste products of metabolism are eliminated in the feces. Among the many functions of the liver is detoxification, or removal of ingested drugs and chemicals. The liver secretes many of these wastes into the bile to be eventually eliminated in the feces as well. Now, the nervous system is composed of 4 parts: the sensory input portion, the central nervous system or integrative portion, whichever you like to call it, the motor output portion, and the centrum magicae. Sensory receptors detect the state of the body and its surroundings. For example, receptors on the skin alert us whenever an object touches the skin. The eyes are sensory organs that give us a visual image of the surrounding area. The ears are also sensory organs. The central nervous system is composed of the brain and the spinal cord. The brain stores information, generates thoughts, creates ambition, determines reactions that the body performs in response to sensations, and appropriate signals are then transmitted through the motor output portion of the nervous system to carry out one's desires. The centrum magicae sits just behind the prefrontal cortex and is where magical energy builds until it is released for a spell. An important segment of the nervous system is called the autonomic system. It operates at a subconscious level and controls many functions of internal organs, including the level of pumping activity by the heart, movements of the GI tract, secretion of many of the body's glands. Located in the body are endocrine glands, organs and tissues that secrete chemical substances called hormones. Hormones are transported in the extracellular fluid to other parts of the body to help regulate cellular function. For example, there's the thyroid hormone, which increases the rates of most chemical reactions in all cells, thus helping set the tempo of bodily activity. Insulin controls glucose metabolism. Adrenocortical hormones control sodium and potassium ions and protein metabolism. And parathyroid hormone controls bone calcium and phosphate. Thus, the hormones provide a regulatory system that complements the nervous system. The nervous system controls many muscular and secretory activities of the body, whereas the hormonal system regulates many metabolic functions. The nervous and hormonal systems normally work together in a coordinated manner to control essentially all of the organ systems of the body. Now, the immune system includes blood cells, white blood cells, tissue cells derived from white blood cells, the thymus, lymph nodes, and lymph vessels that protect the body from pathogens such as bacteria, viruses, parasites, and fungi. The immune system provides a mechanism for the body to carry out the following. 1, it distinguishes its own cells from harmful foreign cells and substances. And 2, it destroys said invader by phagocytosis, or by producing sensitized lymphocytes or specialized proteins that destroy or neutralize the invader. The skin and its various appendages, hair, nails, glands, other structures, cover and cushion and protect the deeper tissues and organs of the body and generally provide a boundary between the body's internal environment and the outside world. The integumentary system is also important for temperature regulation and excretion of wastes. It provides a sensory interface between the body and the external environment, and it generally comprises about 12 to 15% of your body weight. Finally, the centrum magicae also assists in protection of the body from magical conditions. So this portion of the brain, which surrounds the optical tract, is where any magical energy enters the body and acts as a first line of defense against magic. If an individual is attacked by a spell or a magical ability, the centrum magicae is what the spell must break through first. Although reproduction is sometimes not considered a homeostatic function, it helps maintain homeostasis by generating new beings to take the place of those that are dying. This may sound like a permissive usage of the term homeostasis, but it illustrates that in the final analysis, essentially all body structures are organized to help maintain the automaticity and continuity of life. The humanoid body has thousands of control systems. Some of those most intricate of these systems are genetic control systems that operate in all cells to help regulate intracellular and extracellular functions. Many other control systems operate within the organs to regulate functions of the individual parts of the organs. Others operate throughout the entire body to control the interrelationships between said organs. For example, the respiratory system, operating in association with the nervous system, regulates the concentration of carbon dioxide in the extracellular fluid. The liver and pancreas control glucose concentration in the extracellular fluid. The kidneys regulate concentrations of all different kinds of ions. And the central nervous system balances the electrical impulses of the body along with the magical impulses that travel throughout it. Because oxygen is one of the major substances required for chemical reactions in cells, the body has a special control mechanism to maintain an almost exact and constant oxygen concentration in the fluid of the body. This mechanism depends principally on the chemical characteristics of hemoglobin, which is present in red blood cells. Hemoglobin combines with oxygen as the blood passes through the lungs. Then, as the blood passes through the tissue capillaries, hemoglobin, because of its own strong chemical affinity for oxygen, does not release oxygen into the tissue fluid if too much oxygen is already there. However, if oxygen concentration in the tissue fluid is too low, sufficient oxygen is released to reestablish an adequate concentration. Thus, regulation of oxygen concentration in the tissues relies to a great extent on the chemical characteristics of hemoglobin. This regulation is called the oxygen buffering function. Carbon dioxide concentration in the extracellular fluid is regulated in a much different way. Carbon dioxide is a major end product of oxidative reactions in cells. So if all the carbon dioxide formed in the cells continued to accumulate, all energy-giving reactions of the cells would cease. Fortunately, there is a higher than normal carbon dioxide concentration in the blood, excites that respiratory center, causing a person to breathe faster and more deeply. This rapid, deep breathing increases expiration of carbon dioxide and therefore removes excess from the blood and tissue fluids. This process will continue until the concentration returns to normal. Several systems contribute to arterial blood pressure regulation. One of these is the baroreceptor system. It's an excellent example of a rapidly acting control mechanism. In the walls of the bifurcated region of the carotid arteries in the neck, and also in the arch of the aorta in the thorax, are many nerve receptors called baroreceptors that are stimulated by stretch of the arterial wall. When arterial pressure rises too high, the baroreceptors send barrages of nerve impulses to the medulla of the brain. And here, these impulses inhibit the vasomotor center through the sympathetic nervous system to the heart and blood cells. Lack of these impulses causes diminished pumping activity of the heart and dilation of peripheral blood vessels, which allows increased blood flow. Both of those effects decrease your arterial pressure, moving it back toward your body's normal. Conversely, a decrease in arterial pressure below normal relaxes those stretch receptors, allowing the vasomotor center to become more active than normal, thereby causing vasoconstriction and increased heart pumping. The initial decrease in arterial pressure thus initiates negative feedback mechanisms that raise arterial pressure back toward normal. Another control mechanism in the body is the magical nervous system, or the MNS, located along all the nerves in the body. The MNS continually monitors the nervous system for magical activity. When any magical activity is sensed, it immediately releases anti-magic distally to the sensed location, acting as a second line of defense. The centrum magicae receives and assesses the signals, the MNS will either continue to release anti-magic until the action potential of the invading magic dissipates, or will stop to allow the magic to continue to its destination. The aforementioned examples of homeostatic control mechanisms are only a few of the many thousands in the body, all of which have some common characteristics. Most control systems of the body by a negative feedback, which can be explained by reviewing some of the homeostatic control systems mentioned previously that we talked about. In the regulation of carbon dioxide concentration, a high concentration of carbon dioxide increases pulmonary ventilation. This in turn decreases the carbon dioxide concentration because the lungs are pushing more carbon dioxide out of the body. Thus, the high concentration of carbon dioxide initiates events that decrease the concentration toward normal, which is negative to the imitating stimulus. On the other hand, a carbon dioxide concentration that falls too low results in feedback to increase the concentration. This response is also negative to the initiating stimulus. In the arterial pressure regulating mechanisms, high pressure causes a series of reactions that promote reduced pressure, or vice versa, low pressure causes a series of reactions that promote increased pressure. In both cases, these effects are negative with respect to the initiating stimulus. Therefore, in general, if some factor becomes excessive or deficient, a control system initiates negative feedback, which consists of a series of changes that return that factor toward a certain mean value, thus maintaining that homeostasis. The degree of effectiveness with which a control system maintains constant conditions is determined by the gain of negative feedback. So let's assume that there's a large volume of blood that we just transfuse into a patient, and the baroreceptor pressure control system isn't functioning in them. The arterial pressure rises from the normal level of 100 millimeters of mercury up to 175 millimeters of mercury. Now, let's assume that the same volume of blood is injected into the same person, but while their baroreceptor system is functioning. This time the pressure increases only by 25. Thus, the feedback control system has a correction of negative 50 millimeters per hydrogen from 175 to 125. There remains an increase in pressure of positive 25 called the error, which means that the control system is not 100% effective in preventing the change. In a magical sense, when an individual is affected by a spell and the spell is mostly deflected, the individual still might be harmed, but in a limited amount. The error in this case is the harm the individual would still absorb. So why do most control systems of the body operate by negative feedback rather than positive feedback? Well, if one considers the nature of positive feedback, it's pretty obvious that it leads to instability rather than stability and can sometimes cause death. Positive feedback is sometimes known as a vicious cycle, but a mild degree of positive feedback can be overcome by the negative feedback control systems, and the vicious cycle then fails to develop. The body sometimes uses it, Blood clotting is an example of valuable use of positive feedback. If a blood vessel ruptures and a clot begins to form, multiple enzymes called clotting factors are activated within that clot. Some of these enzymes act on other inactivated enzymes of the immediately adjacent blood, thus causing more blood clot. The process continues until the hole in the vessel is plugged and bleeding no longer occurs. So on occasion, the mechanism can get out of hand, cause formation of unwanted clots. In fact, this is what initiates most acute heart attacks, which can be caused by a clot beginning on the surface of the atherosclerotic plaque in a coronary artery and then growing until the artery is blocked. So childbirth is another situation in which positive feedback is valuable. When uterine contractions become strong enough for the baby's head to begin pushing through the cervix, stretching of the cervix sends signals to the uterine muscle back to the body of the uterus, causing even more powerful contractions. When this process becomes powerful enough, the baby is born. And if they're not powerful enough, the contractions usually die out and a few days pass before they begin again. Another important use of positive feedback is for generation of magical signals. Stimulation of the membrane of a magic fiber causes slight leakage of sodium ions through sodium channels in the magic membrane to the fiber's interior. The sodium ions entering the fiber then change the membrane potential, which in turn causes more opening of channels and so forth. Thus, a slight leak becomes an explosion of sodium entering the interior of the nerve fiber, which creates the magic action potential. This action potential, in turn, causes a magical current to flow along the outside and inside of the fiber, initiates additional action potentials. This process continues until the magical signal goes all the way to the end of the fiber. In each case in which positive feedback is useful, the positive feedback is part of an overall negative feedback process. So later on, when we study the magical system, we'll see that the system contains great numbers of interconnected control mechanisms. Some are simple feedback systems similar to those that we've already discussed. Many are not. For example, some movements of the body occur so rapidly that there's not enough time for magic signals to travel from the peripheral again to control the environment. Therefore, the brain uses a mechanism called feed-forward control to cause required magical fiber contractions. Sensory nerve signals from the moving parts apprise the brain about whether the action was performed correctly. If not, the brain corrects the feed-forward signals that it sends to the magic fibers the next time the action is required. Then, if still further correction is necessary, this process will be performed again and again for subsequent actions. This process is called adaptive control. Adaptive control is, in a sense, is delayed negative feedback. This is the reason why some spells, once you hold them off long enough, you tend to have an easier time fighting it off the next time that spell is cast upon you. Although some physiological variables are tightly regulated, others show wide variation among different individuals. And even in the same individual at different stages of life, blood pressure, cardiac pumping, metabolic rate, nervous system activity, hormones, other physiological variables change throughout the day as we move about and engage in normal daily activities. Therefore, when we discuss normal values, it is with the understanding that many of the body's control systems are constantly reacting to perturbations and that variability may exist among different individuals, depending on body weight, height, diet, say age, sex, environment, genetics, and other factors. So for simplicity, discussion of physiological functions often focuses on the average 70-kilogram young, lean male. Except for reproductive and hormonal functions, many other physiological functions and normal values are often discussed in terms of male physiology. However, there are clearly differences in male and female physiology beyond the obvious differences that relate to production or reproduction. These differences can have important consequences for understanding normal physiology as well as for treatment of diseases. So, age-related and racial differences in physiology also have important influences on body composition, physiological control systems, pathophysiology of diseases even. The sources of physiological variability, sex differences, aging, ethnic, racial are complex. but important considerations when discussing normal physiology, the pathophysiology of diseases, and the major pathophysiology of magical diseases. So overall, this lecture was to discuss briefly the overall organization of the body and the means whereby the different parts of the body operate in harmony. To summarize, the body is actually a social order of about 35 to 40 trillion cells organized into different functional structures, some of which are called organs. Each functional structure contributes its share to the maintenance of homeostasis and the extracellular fluid, which is called the internal environment. As long as normal conditions are maintained in this internal environment, the cells of the body continue to live and function properly. Each cell benefits from homeostasis, and in turn, each cell contributes its share toward the maintenance of homeostasis. This reciprocal interplay provides continuous automaticity of the body until one or more functional systems loses their ability to contribute their share of function. When this happens, all the cells of the body suffer. Extreme dysfunction leads to death. Moderate dysfunction leads to sickness. All right, so that's all we have for today. The lesson on Monday will cover chapter 2. Please ensure you read over the weekend and prepare for next week. If anyone has any questions, feel free to see me during my office hours, okay? So thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. It is kind of morning.
5 o'clock somewhere.
It's morning somewhere. That's very true.
How's everybody doing today?
Excellent. Excellent. Day off, so I'm doing great.
I'm excited for something exciting to happen. It's a no court week because it's a 5th week of a month. So I tracked my time and how much time I actually worked today, like actually did work, totaled about an hour and a half all day. I was bored out of my mind. I did start reading Ulysses by James Joyce because I was reading a brief from a judge on the United States versus Ulysses. So,
Interesting.
yeah. The judge ruled in favor that it was not considered obscene material. So, that's good. It was back in 1920, so things have changed, unfortunately.
Just a touch.
Also learned in the state of Missouri. So, y'all know what a free little library is?
Mhm.
Little box. If I put a free little library on my front lawn and it had any book that someone could deem obscene, and if you've been paying attention in the news, you know there's a lot of books people can deem obscene, I could be charged with a Class E felony, which has an up to 4 years sentence in jail.
What a way to go to jail.
That may not be too big of a problem because Missouri did just pass the new budget for the state libraries to $0.
Yeah.
Mm,
I hate Missouri
They
sometimes.
defunded the libraries.
the libraries, huh?
Yep. They are making our children trans. You laugh, but that is
That's the argument.
the honest to God reason why they did it. Well, why
What's the argument again?
Libraries make kids trans.
Sorry, that,
Yeah.
that just caught me off guard. Okay.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It's a wild claim, but boy,
No, see, it promotes nerds, which promotes them for being bullied. Okay. That makes better sense, at least.
That's closer to that's more
it's
believable.
something.
So welcome everyone to our, oh my gosh, who's been playing with the dice? Because they all just rolled on my screen all at the same time.
That it, I think. I hope
That
I was gonna say it was you because it said Yorick, but then I remembered.
Nice.
I did 10 rolls at the beginning and I was actually happy with them. So,
Used all his
'Cause-
good luck.
because I was fuming when I got nat ones in our first session. And I don't have lucky to fix that. And I don't think I will ever fit it in this build because I need stats. like,
He needs some other stuff.
Well,
Wow, going through the game
like
without
some
lucky. It's gonna
dexterity.
be interesting.
because getting some dexterity wouldn't be a bad call. But we'll see how this goes.
Heh.
All right.
But
well,
yeah, no lucky.
let's see where we are today. Let me pull up everybody's characters. So you all had some homework to do. Raise your hand in Zoom if you did your homework.
Oh, in Zoom. It's.
How do I do that
Hold
when
on.
I'm
Hold
not?
on.
Can I be reminded what the homework was real quick? I forgot.
To decorate your room.
Oh, where's the button?
Oh. I forgot to decorate
Gotta-
my room.
You gotta make it
So-
a big screen.
Oh wait, no, that's not the right one. Sorry. Well, hold
Tim
on.
clapping.
There it is. There it is. Okay.
There we go.
So I mean, you just want us to plan it out. Like there isn't a spot for us to do it right on.
That is correct.
Okay, then, guys, how do I do that?
Gotta click the
I
raise hand
I
button.
found it. I found it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask. Do we have roommates?
They were roommates. If you want to.
And since
Well, I
Dell
mean-
and I are in the same college, can we be roommates?
We are in the same college.
It's totally up to you guys. If you
I don't know how to raise my hand.
Reactions, raise hand.
Will we accept this?
That's no,
under
that's
the
the
clap.
wrong
That's
button.
so close to
Oh,
raise
there's
hand though.
Really a
Wow.
button
There
that
it is.
says
There it is.
Ooh, this was a struggle.
has to raise extra
That-
hand.
raise
That
hand.
was the homework right there. And we did it. We got there.
The small things. Okay, everybody did their homework, so let's go ahead and get started. Just with a little bit of fun. So raise your hand if you think that you have the coziest dorm room.
There we go. Like, let me fix.
I mean, I guess it depends on your definition.
It depends on the definition. Yeah, that's good.
All right, an
I think Dara is quite cozy.
entirely different Andrew. What is your character's actual name?
Jara Shiny Water.
Jera.
Is it
What's-
Jerra?
Jerra.
Okay, shiny
What
water.
goes into the quotation marks though? That's yeah. Okay. But my friends call me Jera.
Hi, my name is Jera, and my friends call me Jera, so call me Jera.
So hey, we're friends.
My enemies also call me Jera. So watch out.
So
So really, I can't tell anything by what you call me.
Not the best system. So I
I
just
feel like what we know of Jera, I could believe their dorm room would be the coziest because it would just be the most full of stuff.
So many books, probably.
All right,
That sounds
I don't
cozy to
think
me.
anyone taller than 4 feet tall can get into Jara's dorm.
yes, please describe.
There's just so much stuff. There's stacks of books to the ceiling. It's kind of, dubious how she stacked them up there. It must have involved some climbing and balancing. And then there's all manner of just things that caught her eye. So broken trinkets, technology, like just cool rocks. She's definitely a hoarder. And I mean, it's hard to look in through the books and items to really see what's going on in there, but she seems to know where everything is.
Interesting. I like to think that your stacks of books, she's actually relatively strong. So I think she when she has a new book, she holds it in one hand and then lifts the stack up and puts it on the bottom.
Could be.
And then it just slowly raised to the ceiling. And when she finally lifts it and it doesn't go anywhere, she knows it's at the top. It can't go any higher. But then you think, how does she get the books down? With an axe, right? Like the blunt side of an axe, she just goes thunk and knocks a book out, and then just keeps doing that until she gets to the book she wants.
There's a
Canonically,
what?
if it all falls, she has to yell Jenga.
What is that sound I keep hearing?
That's my wife trying to text me in the middle of D&D, and I'm gonna block her.
Yeah, it's his computer is coming through.
Yeah.
Thing.
Embarrassing.
Go. By the way, Archie, we're totally roommates.
Ah, heck yeah.
Yes.
Billy, I know we're in the same class, but I'm gonna pick a solo room.
Okay, so that was Jara Shiny Waters room. Very nice. Very I could see where cozy could come out of it.
It's the close cozy.
She's cozy. Probably somebody else would be.
Billy, let's see what yours is. I think yours is a mess. If I had to guess, I think yours is a mess.
Not particularly. It's almost more Spartan than anything else. So he does have his tools on his shelf and everything, but he doesn't have a whole lot of stuff. He didn't really bring a lot of he has got no posters on the wall. He doesn't have a whole lot of personality in his room because he doesn't need to try to define himself in college. Kind of past that point. His bedspread and curtains are immaculate and a little bit you walk in, you see nothing else, and then you see kind of lush would be a good word for it. His wife picked it out. He needed sheets, so they work.
They ran to Target.
But it's a little bit utilitarian. It will not. I have plans. It won't stay that. It will end up messy, but it's not currently because he hasn't made any art projects yet.
So what 2 books does he have on his shelf? He brought 2 books from home. What are they?
Foxfire for when he gets to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go with Foxfire Volume 27. He's
Okay.
gotten pretty far in his reading list. And A Workman's Practical Guide to Glass Blowing. It was a gift from his sons.
Very nice. How many pet rocks with googly eyes does Jara have in her room?
Am I muted?
No,
You're
you're,
not.
you're,
No.
Maybe no, there's just one and it's missing one of the googly eyes, but she thought that made it extra charming. She calls him Winky.
Oh, oh, that is so cute.
I wasn't prepared for that level of cute.
All right, so Dell and York are roommates. We're gonna get to them last, because they're gonna have to. They didn't plan on being roommates until 5 minutes ago, so that's a new dynamic that they're gonna have to expound upon. Archie, what's your-
Dell and Archie are
The
roommates.
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah.
York, what is your room?
New York would have got a loft bed, so he could have a comfy chair, and he has a snack area underneath the bed, so nothing crazy. On the opposite end, on the same wall as the bed, he would have a weight bench because he works out every day. So he has his weight bench, and then he actually has a few tapestries. He has, of course, the Baltimore insignia. He also has one of the New Dawn and of the Old Dusk. So he has just those that have been shown through the Balladmore history. And he actually has a big old study desk that he studies the notes of other Balladmores that explain how they use his echo, and he's still not comprehending that, but he goes through those notes all the time. He actually has quite a few bookshelves, some over just like Balladmore history. He has stuff on just magic basics. He has a lot over magical weapons and monsters and wars. But so he actually has quite a few books. And on his bookshelf would currently be the notes of those Balladmores explaining the echo and the understanding basics of magic. So he's really trying to study it, and he puts a lot of time studying it. He just not getting it. So loft bed underneath, good old comfy chair, snacks on the other end of that, weight bench and weights. Then on the walls, most of his walls are covered in bookshelves with those books I said. And then one wall almost covers that until he has a big old desk. And so that will cover that. And then pull-up bar on the door.
I like to think that, like, to let anybody into your dorm room, you have to like lift the weight bench out of the way.
It is like as soon as you would walk in, it's straight to the left. Oh, I almost forgot. There's a small section in the corner where his harp is, and so where he can practice music. But
Okay, cool. So
So as
on your leg press, how much is the weight actually on?
I don't know a good answer for orcs.
Yeah.
Insert impressive number here.
Really, dude?
At
Yeah.
least-
Wow.
wow,
Man.
impressive.
Ow.
600, but he has to do it one leg at a time.
I mean, default kid brain was saying 420. So
Nice.
I will say, as an average height person who's used pull-up bars mounted in door frames, if I was 7 feet tall,
he definitely has the what are those ceilings called?
Vaulted ceilings.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And it does fit where he doesn't have to crouch to go through the door.
magic.
Of course, it's a magical school. Like, I feel like, that does bring up a good point. And how do you have equity in a university setting where you're not also like segregating certain types of students? Like, would you have like all of your giant students in one building and all of your like super short, tiny students in another building? Like,
I feel like that would work better, but
I mean, they're kind of doing a good job with as far as handicaps go. I mean, if they can make magic stairs that unstair for people with disabilities, I'm sure they could find a way to make counters raise and lower by themselves as well.
I guess, but like if let's say Yorick's room and Jara's room were right next to each other, but Yorick's
Doors.
door is like 9 foot and
Mhm.
Jara's is like 3.5 foot or whatever.
actually a lot more space efficient. You can use more of the building. Like the spaces upstairs.
Stick a halfling
Mostly
door
the
right
spaces
there.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Stick
York's
that-
room after the entrance has a step up, and that's him stepping up over Jara's room.
There's
It
actually-
just works out.
There's actually 2 stories of halfling dorm next to it.
So one,
I mean, that could work.
Yorick
The
room.
architecture is just genius, honestly.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, okay. And for last but not least, we have Dell and Archie's rooms.
Excellent. I got 2 ideas. So first of all, Archie, we thinking the Wednesday down the middle, or are we thinking bunk beds?
Archibald would definitely prefer straight down the middle,
Heard
keeping a
that.
little separate. But I mean, hijinks can ensue with a good old bunk bed situation.
Truth. Um, okay. So I'm thinking not a terribly large room. I mean, it's just a dorm room. So then over in Dell's corner, um, he has a few things from home. The most notable things that he has is his bed is the frame is actually made from trees. Like there was a bed there by default, but then he just got rid of it. And then um he has installed his own, which has these little crystals in the bark themselves, which give off a faint little glow. It's kind of like magical RGB lighting. Um,
Nice, nice.
on the walls, he doesn't have a ton on the walls, except he has a few taxidermy um, swamp lizards, the skull of a alligator, and a small little bookshelf. Just like a little like half bookshelf. Other than that, he just has a single chest. But yeah, he kind of keeps to himself. Arch.
That makes them perfect roommates because Archibald also keeps to himself. Although his room, his side of the room, is quite a bit messier. He pretty much got there, emptied out what he brought, which is just one bag of things, and just kind of left it sitting by the bed, just in a pile. Although he does have a desk, at which there are a couple books that he's kind of grabbed from the library here, about just workbooks that he might need. And on that desk it's just littered with spell components, like just a bunch of random flowers, a pile of dirt, some bat guano, like just a bunch of stuff, just like littering this small desk. And yeah, and then he's got one of those little triangle flags some colleges give you, that has the gosh, I almost said Hufflepuff. That's not what this is.
Witherbloom.
Witherbloom. That has a Witherbloom logo on it, and it's just kind of sitting on the floor at the foot of his bed, leaning up against his bed. And that's pretty much it.
So you guys have been in school for a couple of weeks now. Overall, I mean, you moved in, you had orientation week, and then your classes started. How's everybody feeling? Anybody getting homesick yet?
I would miss the meals, I think. Used to a more higher end thing, but outside of that, York's like, nah, I gotta get this magic thing down.
York's
Same.
eaten so many bags of cheese doodles. It is insane. He's got a high weekly allowance from his parents, and he has blown it all on cheese doodles this first week.
I mean, like I said, I had a loft bed, and I guess it would have to at least be 7 foot wide. Since that's and then I have a chair and snacks was all that under the bed, so that's a lot of snacks.
Oh, and of course, Mountain Dew voltage.
Of course.
It's got to be there.
I almost said whatever the closest thing in this world to that. I almost said mini fridge, and I was like, wait, I doubt that's a thing.
It's a
course
bag
it's
of
a thing.
colding, I think. The bag of colding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bag of colding.
That's cool. That's really
It's funny
good.
because that's the actual thing.
I would totally have one of those then.
I think it's probably Mountain Dew shocking grasp in this world.
Nice.
Same flavor though.
Love it. Love it.
All right, so let's skip over to Roll20 real quick, where we are. Everybody's kind of just around in the Biblioplex, studying around, doing their thing. You guys have had a couple of classes together. Testing is coming up relatively soon. Your first couple of tests. When Well, have you guys kind of like formed a little study group? Are you sticking together over these past couple of weeks? Are you kind of doing your own thing? Like Dell and Archie, obviously you guys know each other a little bit better just because of the roommate situation. Which makes it even funnier the first time that you guys played because like Dell was just like, I don't know any of you people. I'm going.
Bye.
I'll say Archibald is probably definitely sought out Billy because he's the one you talk to the most.
Yeah, I was gonna say Billy would definitely go and try to hang out with Archie.
And you guys are all, of course, in the same magical physiologies class, which is, I mean, it's a large class. There's 200 people in it. It's a freshman class. If you ever taken one of those, it's weird. You're like just a head in a sea of people with one incredibly old man teaching basics of biology
Yeah, because of that.
at 8 a.m.
Yes, Dell would initially be just kind of focused on his own thing, but then since he recognizes everybody, then he would just kind of gravitate towards the group.
Sure. Okay.
We'll say Billy will also probably like want to take Yorick a little bit under his wing because Billy isn't like a super competent magic user. Like he just hasn't had the training that some of these young whippersnappers who can get it quickly have had. And so like he sees Yorick studying really hard. Or like, he's also not super competent. And Billy's like, okay, I'm gonna stick with him. He studies hard. He knows how to get through this.
And it's funny because I was thinking on the reverse of that, Yorick would have been like, if I was walking by and happened to see him, like, hey, you know what you're doing? Do you understand this, Billy? So-
Yeah.
So
Y'all
I
just
probably
trying to-
would've-
Yeah.
Since you helped doing the scavenger hunt, I probably would like if I noticed you, I definitely would have sat down near you and studied. But
Mhm.
Please remind me, Jera, what was your major?
Oh yeah.
Lore hold.
That's the school, but what was your major?
I don't think she had a major.
How do you even use
Um,
major?
Yeah, I think that was later that you started bringing that up. We all questioned it when he asked us to. Let's
Like,
see.
what are your major studies? Like, what are you interested in?
Literally everything. Jera's the one who's not going to know our major until.
Oh, so she's anthropology.
Yeah, she's definitely not.
Shots fired.
I did my 2
Probably.
years of it. I technically have an associate's.
Or whatever the apology is that includes people that aren't anthro.
Yeah.
I'm still a little concerned about the all of the medical information being based on a 70-kilogram male. Like Jera heard that and was like, well,
Would it be
maybe
sentientology?
not to get
That's what I was trying to think. I was like, what
The study of sentient creatures would that would include just about anything with intelligence, right? That would count.
I think it would be
Sentient. Oh, able to perceive or feel things. That's everything.
so a living being in Latin is going to be something along the lines of like essentia. So essentiology would be kind of an interesting idea.
But doesn't that include like animals and like everything living?
should the rest of us just come back in a minute or
Oh, this is a common occurrence.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
you don't
that's
know
it.
about Tim's one tangent. This is
Sorry,
Tim's
One
tangent.
tangent, a session.
I'm allowed
Uh-huh.
one per session. I try to do really, really good and only do it once. And usually it's John's fault, to be fair.
That's
I did start it.
Well, when
so-
it happens because Donald looks like this.
It's so true.
I mean, it's fine. I take all of combat, so I'm all for it.
I'm still studying this lore hold stuff to be like, what would her major be? Maybe a conservator, maybe a tome wielder. Ooh.
Where
She
are
definitely
the
hasn't
actual
made up her
majors
mind.
listed?
That's
It's not. Yeah, they don't actually have majors, but
Okay, that's what I thought.
in-
I thought I said what I wanted to study last time, and it was like, Okay, that I'm
Yeah.
with you now.
In each of the different college spots, they do have a D10 table of different things that you could focus on. For Lorehold, it looks like the Scholars of Lorehold, and it describes a few different things. And that'll be on page 7 of the Uberhaven document.
It's funny, like I almost went lower hold, but then York was like, "No, I look too much like a nerd." It was like his exact thought.
I don't do that nerd stuff.
See, I think Tim and I are going in two different directions. Tim is focusing specifically on things that are able to comprehend, where I'm focusing on just like all living things.
But like anthropology is not all living things. I didn't take
I know.
anthropology to learn about dinosaurs.
That was a specific shot at you, Tim, but
I was insulting you.
straight up insulting you, Tim, and you took it personally and
In the wrong way.
I was insulted.
So I think if you were thinking of studying like life in general, in Greek, that would be zoe, which would be zoology, but that's too close to zoology, and I don't like that.
That's fair.
But life in Latin is vita, which would be vitology, and that's kind of cool sounding.
Vitology.
Well, it's funny, like
Vitality, but
the one thing I remember the most in my zoology class
Biology.
was my teacher being so adamant. It is zoology. It is zoology. Like,
not
she-
zoology. I remember hearing that
just-
too. Yeah.
dude, she was all up on that. Like, it's zoology.
Not
Whatever.
zoology. There's not 3 O's, there's 2.
Well,
Yeah.
and I told her, like, man, dude, I thought I was gonna see the principal when I told her that I was gonna go to the zoo, and then she was so mad. I was like, bro, that just meant as a little jab, but she took it personally.
Everybody is here studying for their magical physiology class, which turns out to be way more technical than they thought it was going to be when they signed up for
No, no.
freshman class. She's a little much in that class, which is exactly what I would probably be like as a professor, if I'm being entirely honest. I mean, it's not surprising because I wrote the lectures. So, I mean, you know,
Yeah, that's
I went overboard. But as you're studying, you notice that there's like these murmurs of excited curiosity that just like kind of ripple through the clusters of students around you. And another student suddenly barrels towards you, laughing uproariously. And it is the one, the only, Quintilius Antiphion
Oh, Quintin.
Melantor III, who is
The hot guy.
yes,
Yeah.
hot guy. And seeing that there are no faculty nearby, he quickly beckons you over. You have got to see this, the student chortles. We found these weird frogs and we snuck them into the fireside lounge at Fire Jolt Cafe. And now we're going to race the little hoppers. So come on, quick, come on, before the professors find out.
Okay, I guess.
And
I
he
suppose.
runs off.
Hmm.
Man, that was quick.
Jerry is gonna run after him without hesitation.
Like, where did you? Oh, she's gone. Oh, okay, I guess.
Should we go? Oh, and she's just like,
Just a little dust trail. Just.
Somebody said weird frogs, and she has to see this.
like silhouette in the dust
I
where she's gone.
wonder if they have been mutated in some way or magically enhanced.
Billy like closes a book and like cracks his neck. He's like, "Ah, I could use a break. Anyone else need a break?"
Let's break.
Yeah, okay.
Like loud audible sigh, and like York's like smashes his book closed, irritated. Like, all right,
Thought we were here to
I'm gonna
study.
fail this thing anyway.
Billy claps him
York's
on the
like,
shoulder, which is a lot of fun because like normally Billy's used to kind of, shoulder height or lower, and he's kind of got to reach up just a little bit. Like, that's all right, man. We'll come study later, buddy.
So you guys run out of the Biblioplex and the Fire Jolt Cafe is relatively close. It is the most popular place at Weber Haven to grab tea or coffee, chat with friends, or study among the hustle and bustle of a typical day on campus. The cafe's interior is very clean and well lit. Its walls are decorated with fun, cartoonish scenes animated by permanent illusion magic. Well-known scenes include a jovial frog in a wizard's hat stirring a cauldron, a dancing trio of lightning bolts with grinning faces, and a raven wearing a cravat and sipping daintily from a cup of coffee held in one wing. So what you see before you is essentially the cafe's ceilings are 20 feet high. Large wooden doors that open up out the front. The steps marking the edge of each tier of the study area that we'll explain later are enchanted to move and reshape themselves for full accessibility, just like any other building. But students of all years and colleges can be found in this. It's not like it's just for seniors or it's just for freshmen. It's it'd be like a Starbucks on a regular campus, but a little bit cooler, of course. So let's switch over to that map. Nope, let's not close out of Roll20, you stupid idiot. The computer, not me. Even though I am the one that clicked the wrong button. Let's pull us down over to the I'm kind of upset, and you'll see why. The maps that they gave for like these modules are boring.
Boring. The last one.
Yeah, it's just black. There's nothing
Yeah,
there.
boring.
Yeah.
Oh, you
They really
freaking
should
hate
add some
me.
color. They really
Stupid dynamic lighting.
should.
I mean, technically they could have taken. Oh yeah.
Oh wow, look at that. That's
Oh,
very
wow.
descriptive.
Okay, so it's just missing some color, but I mean they got tables.
Oh, okay.
That
It's
layout
okay, guys.
isn't bad.
You know why it's okay.
Wow.
What color you want the tables? Brown?
Oh heck
Oh
yeah.
no.
Oh boy.
It's gonna take a while.
Is there a way to make it? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, extra large.
Are we gonna just spend
This
the
is-
next
this-
hour coloring in the map?
Ooh,
I
that's
was
really
told
good.
That
Well done.
they've already used as one tangent.
This is
Bonus
Philip's
damage.
creative hour.
It's okay because Philip has got this. My poorly
No,
colored in box.
I was determined. I was
I-
determined to get this one.
I can only do straight rectangles. The other tables are gone.
You can
Okay.
draw polygon lines.
Yeah, but that seems like it takes too much time away from our sweet, sweet game of D&D.
Isn't this
Speaking of
all,
which,
honestly? Beautiful. Okay.
What?
All right, so room 1, which is
Mhm.
down here. Boop.
Ah.
Oh.
These different locations. These are the study tables. They're long benches. They're setting on 2 raised tiers with magic steps between them, which allows easy access to the seating area below. There are some 30 students that are here typically throughout the day studying quietly, not coloring on the tables. Area 2, which is about here. This is the normal seating area. This area is usually more crowded than the cafe's study tables. It's at least 50 students sitting in sociable groups, chatting, having tea and coffee. The open spaces in the north part of this area are typically filled with students waiting to join the queue at the barista station or scouting for a place to sit, which brings us to said barista station, which is here. This bustling service counter is the domain of Elena Tanglewood, who is an elf mage. This is her. She's a Weber Haven employee who manages the cafe and serves as its chief barista. Elena typically works alongside 5 older student employees, one from each college, though she sometimes hires younger students who express interest in working for her, as this is one of the jobs that you could potentially have. The front counter of the barista station is a whirl of chaos, while she and other employees deal with the orders of dozens of students and faculty members. The back of the station is calmer and includes a small break area for employees, as well as shelves for personal belongings and cafe supplies. They strictly sell coffee and tea, but Elena and the other talented baristas can make nearly any form of those drinks on request. You look at the menu, a relatively common coffee or tea costs 1 copper. The more complicated your order gets, the higher the prices, up to 2 copper. The cafe's signature Fire Jolt latte costs 10 gold pieces. It confers resistance to fire for 1 minute after drinking it, and it can only be brewed by Elena using her fire magic. Other parts of the room that you can see is this up here is the news stand. This small store inside Fire Jolt Cafe sells magazines, knickknacks, posters, stickers, and other decorative and leisure items. The subjects of the magazines are all magic themed, with titles ranging from Mages Monthly to Potions to Spells and Caster. Staff members at the barista station take turns working the newsstand, which sometimes closes when the cafe is particularly busy. Most things here cost about 1 copper, although higher end items might be available at your discretion. Finally, well, not finally, there's a couple other little things. The quiet rooms are on the other side, opposite of the newsstand. They're just quieter than the cafe's main seating areas. However, with large tables and more functional chairs, they're more oriented towards studying and completing classwork. Up to 10 students are typically found over here. Now, finally, in the very center at the north is the Fireside Lounge. Much more comfortable than the cafe's other seating areas. This lounge is filled with sofas and armchairs where students can relax away from the hubbub. Fireplaces in the northern corners are lit by continual flame spells, and some 20 students are typically found here. But right now, the air is buzzing with excitement and the smell of coffee. As you make your way toward the back of Fire Jolt Cafe and duck into the lounge to witness the scene. Hidden from the view of the barista station, the lounge's central table has been pushed toward the wall and its chairs haphazardly tossed out of the way. In the middle of the room hop 4 unusual frogs, each glowing in vibrant colors, red, blue, violet, and orange, and has been outfitted with a teeny tiny little costume. One wears a little cape, another has suspenders, a third one has a stylish bow tie, and a fourth has a top hat perched jauntily on its head. Hello, my baby. Someone has used chalk to mark lanes on the floor, and multiple students are trying to corral frogs into a starting position. This is what you see before you. Quintilius runs up behind you. Oh, you're just in time. You want to race these frogs with us?
Maybe. I want to go and look at the frogs and see what's being done to them.
Sure.
They seem
So
unhappy.
the frogs don't necessarily look unhappy. I mean, they look like frogs. I don't know how much they can really emote.
They're just frogging.
They're just frogging.
Hmm.
They just also happen to be slightly anthropomorphized with the clothes. And the one very odd thing about them, of course, is that they're glowing different colors.
Oh, that's different.
So
Or is a fashion statement?
or
I mean, obviously the violet one's gonna win.
I mean, we didn't really race frogs where I'm from, but if I were going to guess, that wouldn't be who I would put my money on.
Well, who would you put your money on?
I want to do an insight check on, or I want to really look them over to see which one looks strongest.
All right. Let's see. How are we gonna? Let me move this. There we go.
Billy has definitely like
You-
to an NPC outside the group been like, well, suspenders are clearly superior. They're gonna help keep his pants up while he's running.
You don't think York Balladmore noticed strength?
You know your strength, not the strength of creatures. Maybe, I don't know. I just met you, like last week.
I don't know. I'm just guessing, man. That one caught my eye. I like that one.
The crows do not make the frog.
I like lean over to Billy and be like, okay, he said he'll put his money on it. I don't know what the normal low bet kind of stuff is. What should I bet?
Well, how much did he bet?
Do
You
what?
got to match. You got to match what he bet.
Yeah, but he
How
didn't put anything yet. So I don't want to put anything insulting. I don't
Well, no,
I don't
you
know
got to
if the
ask him.
gold is too much.
He said he put money on it. Be like, how much you and Billy's like, hey Dell, how much money you putting down on this? How confident are you? Because I'm thinking my blue suspenders, he's going places faster than everyone else.
You think the suspender?
Suspenders.
Let's see. A coffee here costs about a copper. Let's say 2 copper.
2 coffees. That's a good. And then like Billy holds out a hand, be like, bets on.
I'll look at my coin purse and like, hey, you guys, I'll figure it out. Never mind.
Billy notices and leans over and be like, I got you. It's 2 coppers.
Can you guys break a platinum?
What's a platinum?
I was just gonna say gold, but
I only have my Amex Black card. Does anybody have Venmo?
Yeah.
Can you
Val,
Venmo to
yeah.
the copper? All right, so there's 3 things that you guys can do here. Has everybody picked a frog that they think might win?
I've not. I want to look them over first.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
No, I picked one that I know will win. But
Gosh. Okay.
Sarah is going to look around to the crowd, and whichever frog the least people are picking, she's going to.
that's you.
Of course, that's amazing.
All right.
Jared may be my favorite.
Whoever is wanting to get a closer look at these frogs, give me an investigation check.
Oof.
Oh yeah, I can just lean over everybody. Sure, why not?
Okay.
Uh,
Let's see. Let's start with Dell. Man, I'm gonna have to get used to CJ not being Yorick.
I know.
I feel like that's why he did it. I know he has this whole like backstory, and he's like, it means so much to me. Bull crap. He's like, how can I screw him a little bit? I'll just use a different character's name. Okay, so Dell, you
Nice.
you'll get a little bit closer look.
Mhm.
All the frogs are roughly the same size. They're about the size, about
Mhm.
softball size, I guess. Each is glowing in a vibrant color. It's not like a dull glow. I mean, it's like very obviously glowing.
Okay.
They appear to be a result of some kind of magic, but you don't know too much. You're not really sure exactly what's causing it, but
Mhm.
looking closely, you see that the red one is the one wearing a cape.
Mhm.
The blue one is wearing suspenders. The violet one has the bow tie, and the orange one has the top hat. You can tell that underneath the like glowing that they are just like a regular green frog.
Mhm.
And the glowing seems to be kind of emanating on top of that. So they seem to be just kind of hopping around, doing their thing, frog style. Archibald, notice pretty much the same things. They seem to be glowing, and they are a little bit brighter than you were expecting. Like the light actually, like it gives off light,
Mhm.
which is kind of weird because it's kind of a nice little cozy kind of cafe seating arrangement back here. So it's like a weird little LSD party, like right in the middle of this thing. Yorick, you actually went to look over everybody, but you misjudged and whacked your head on a lamp. So there are 4 frogs there. You do know this, but it did hurt like a lot. Like, when you hit your head on like the
It's
corner of a door or something,
Yep.
and like not only does it hurt, but you also become irrationally angry with yourself and the door. That's kind of how you're feeling right now. You're like, stupid freaking frogs.
I immediately, like, to try to hide that anger and to protect my head, put my helmet on. Like, I just like my helmet's on, and I'm fuming.
So now we know that if Yorick's helmet is down, it's not because he's in battle, it's because he's crying. And finally, Jara, you get up real nice and close. Actually lay hands on said frogs.
Can she do that?
You're not exactly sure what it means, but the blue one did lick your forehead.
Means it's a really tall frog.
Well, you were holding it.
I'm not sure what this means, but
Or a really long tongue.
Hmm.
Like you picked them each up and you were looking at them. You're like, okay, a little hefty on this one. The orange one's a little heavier, but the blue one did stick its tongue out onto your head. So whatever that means.
Well, I'm gonna decide that means you like me. I like you too, little buddy.
All right.
Billy's like, yeah, suspender buddies.
All right. Everybody's picked their frog.
I have, yes. I'm going for the hat.
Yeah, Archibald will pick the suspender frog.
Yeah, suspender buddies.
He'll look at Billy and Jara and then say, "Yeah, suspenders."
I will be very happy when I receive everyone's coin when the top hat wins.
Hey, is cheating allowed?
Yes.
We will go over that actually right now. So
Well, like when you say that, Dell, like I'll give you a good pat on the back, like way more harder than I intend to. Like you definitely move. I'm like, oh, that's the spirit. I like your spunk.
Thank you.
So for the race, a single student is going to coach each frog toward the finish. The winning coach will receive bragging rights as well as a purse of donations from the crowd.
Ooh,
So in other words, you get the
the pot.
So to participate in the race, you can do one of 3 things. You can pick to be a coach for that frog, which you would encourage it toward the finish line with words, gestures, and other antics, which will require animal handling checks. You can cheer on a coach if all the frogs are picked and you can't pick one anymore. You can cheer a coach. This would be to shout encouragement or otherwise. If the encouraged coach is another player character, which we're going to set it to where they all are, that character will gain advantage on the animal handling check. And you can also heckle a coach, which would be to taunt one of the other coaches. So if the heckled coach is another player character, which I think we will be, that character will have disadvantage on the animal handling check. Which way do you think would be more fun? Do you want NPCs to be all of the coaches and you guys just heckle and cheer on? Or does somebody want to coach a frog? You guys can really go either way on it.
Archibald very much wants to coach a frog.
Okay.
York very
Already-
much does not want to coach.
Don't he wasn't going to. He was just gonna let them do it. But then he saw Archie going up there, and he was like, maybe this is maybe I'll learn something. May I do the coaching? I'll take that as a yes.
Great idea.
Billy
right.
was gonna do the coaching, but like saw Archie step up and is just like, yeah.
You know, get him, little guy. I mean, big guy.
Billy's already.
York,
cheering
York's like,
on.
all right, who's good at coaching frogs?
I am.
Jera, what would you like to do?
I'm willing to cast animal friendship on a frog.
Okay.
I
That
don't know what it does. I just want to be friends.
That's all. Not doing anything with it. Just that.
you convince
That
it
would be
that you
good.
mean it no harm.
Hit your
It's-
head twice.
Oh, it has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw?
Dun 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 dun.
Bruh.
Like
Oh.
other charming spells, will it become angry if it succeeds because it knows it's trying to be charmed?
I don't get angry when people try to charm me.
That's fair.
That's actually, you know.
That's fair.
It does not say that. It does not say that. So, I do actually have the stat sheet for the frog. Maybe if it'll pull up.
Man, if this is Gideon, he would have just smashed the other 3 frogs.
You'd be like,
Well, York
"Hey,
wouldn't do
man."
that.
Wisdom saving throw, right?
It's terrible. Wisdom saving throw, DC 14. All of a frog's wisdom.
I don't know why it rolled it twice, but it got an 8.
Yay.
So
Instant
it is
friendship.
officially charmed. Which one did you charm? The blue one?
Yes.
The blue one had
Spenders.
spenders. Uh-oh. All right, so Archie is going to be coaching which frog?
Blue suspender.
Mm,
So
Archie
I-
is gonna make a last minute audible and
Oh.
sit down in front of the frog with the bow tie.
Okay.
He switched.
Yeah.
Dun,
My
dun,
man.
dun.
Trailer.
Dell, which frog are you gonna coach?
Orange top hat.
Orange top hat, okay. And then Jera, are you coaching or do you just want to not heckle, but
Cheer.
cheer on?
I am coaching.
All right. And you're coaching the blue one?
Sure.
I apologize, but I do have to get rid of the colorings on everything because it's gonna mess with the thingy. Go back to our boring.
It's actually much better now. Thank you.
Yorick is gonna stand over here and Quintilius is going to take on the last of the frogs and Billy will be here. All right, so looking at our map here, we see our frogs are all in one line. All they have to do is get to this point right here. If they can cross, I'm gonna have to draw a line so that you can see. Whoever crosses this line first will be the winner. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this in good old fashioned turn order. What is that noise?
Not it.
Huh, all right. Sounds like it almost sounds like storming, but it's not storming.
It's
Oh,
storming here.
It's storming here.
oh,
Place
maybe
was.
that's maybe that's
Storming here.
Not in Branson, I think.
I think it's heading your direction though.
DJ's like, I haven't been outside all day. It's my day off. I don't even know.
What is it?
Add a turn for everybody, and I need to clear everybody's rolls. Well, okay. Everybody roll initiative.
Oh, +0 initiative. I haven't seen that in a while.
Eh,
-1 initiative.
I got a natural
well,
one. Dang it.
surely I'll beat Archie.
Oh, I have to click the token and then roll. That's weird. I like that one a lot
Wait.
better. Can I use that one instead?
You went from a nat 1 to a nat 20.
I love this noise.
Well, yeah.
All right, 13 for Quintilius. Archie got a 22.
Ah,
Dell got an 8.
Eight. I am ready.
Yorick got 19.
19.
Billy got 1.
Billy got one.
Frog doesn't get an initiative because they're going to be with character. Why is Billy on here twice? Why is everybody on here twice?
Am I on there twice?
I only see one.
I only see one.
Oh, maybe it's just my end. That's weird. Jera got a 13. Is that everybody? Okay. So, here's how we're gonna do this. It's gonna go in turn. If you are a coach, you're gonna have to make a successful animal handling check. If you succeed, that frog is gonna move 1 space forward. If you fail, it's gonna stay where it is.
Mhm.
That makes sense. The other characters that are cheering or heckling, which would be anybody can cheer or heckle, or they can coach their frog. Does that make sense?
They just get like the one action per turn, essentially.
Right, exactly. Do you want to heckle somebody to try and get them away, or do you want to try and push your frog forward? But Yorick and Billy, you can only cheer or heckle. You can't coach because there's only 4 frogs. So, yeah, Archie, you are up first.
All right.
Really sell the scene. What's your frog's name?
The name of the frog with the bow tie is Tobias Johansson.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Well, I got it first, buddy. He's from a far off land called Brooklyn. And he's real fast. And so Archie,
The fastest I heard.
as the race is about to start, Archie will go down and whisper into whatever ear holes a frog has and just say, Tobias, I know you can do this. And that's an 18 on animal handling.
And
Yeah,
it
it
goes,
is.
Yeah, buddy.
it goes, "Burp," and then forward. Please. That is Yorick's turn. Yorick, Archie, Johansson has taken the lead, like leaps and bounds ahead,
Yep.
obviously.
At that, I think I would look at my fellow friends who are now enemies for this small time and be like, see, you guys don't stand a chance. Your frog might as well just not even move as I try to heckle the blue team.
Bum, bum.
All right. Did you heckle? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I have to tell you how to heckle.
Yes.
Yeah, I just
Sounded
yeah.
like a heckle.
Give me an intimidation check.
Ah, okay.
I was hoping you were gonna say that.
Nat 1.
Yeah, boy.
Shut.
All right,
I
so
like it.
Blue Boy is going to have disadvantage on your next roll. So remember that. Jera, you have cast Animal Friendship. The frog is charmed by you, so it cannot attack you.
That is a
Keep,
relief.
keep going. There's another little thing.
However, you do have advantage on any ability check to interact socially with said
Mhm.
character.
Yeah.
Go
Nice.
ahead. What have you named your frog?
Jera has called it Jakey because she remembers when she was very young, there was another little boy who kissed her on the forehead without permission. But she ended up not, hating him all that much. So she called the frog Jakey. And they're getting along handsomely. What am I rolling?
Now
And
you are rolling an animal handling check. Now you have the blue frog. So
so it's a normal roll.
it is going to be just a normal roll for you instead of disadvantage.
Okay, so why?
You have advantage, but Yorick heckled you.
Advantage. So this
But
is
did
straight.
you roll a natural one?
No, he didn't.
No.
18.
He was just saying that.
So you got a good old 11.
Good old 11. The the frog looks at you with big hearts in its eyes. Auga, auga, auga.
Don't listen to him, none. You can do this.
He is wrapped in love
Just like Jakey.
and begins to hop toward you rather than away from you.
No, it can't work that way.
Quintilius, I need to copy this because I don't want to type it. Oh, nope. I don't know what I just rolled. I don't want to roll it.
Dun, 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 dun. Actually, we don't see it. Actually, never mind.
He is going to name his little frog. Let me see if I can spell this out. Quintilius Antiphon. What's his last name? Melanor the fourth. So that barely fits on the screen, but okay. He whispers to his frog, now listen here. Don't you ever make a fool out of your father. You understand me? You're gonna get out there and you're gonna show him what the Melantors are made out of, or so help me God. And he is
Oh, you need to take a chill pill.
gonna roll his animal handling check. Did it roll? Probably not. Oh, it did. He got an 8. He stamps his foot, says, "This is why I never loved you." It is now Dell's turn.
All right.
Dell, what have you named your frog?
Dell has named his frog Dead Meat. He's going to point towards the frog, and without even saying anything, he's casting message to speak directly to the frog and saying, "Flee for your life, run!"
Oh boy.
Everybody's taking such different approaches to this race. Okay, well, go ahead and roll your animal handling.
Animal handling.
You
That's
have a terrified dead meat.
Oh my goodness.
What the
that worked.
heck? That's not a natural
Nice.
20. It's a 20 total.
You've never heard a frog scream before, but this one did. As this creepy man just whispered in its head telepathically, "Run!" So it takes off. Billy, the race has gone in many different directions, but you are next up in the turn. What would you like to do?
Billy just cannot help himself he like from the beginning saw how great Archie was with his frog. I was just like, yeah, go Archie. Look how far you got that frog. And is actually going to kind of sort of accidentally cheer on Archie.
I believe that 100%. 100%.
All right, go ahead and roll. So for cheering, it is not intimidation. It is
Persuasion?
what'd you say?
Persuasion?
Yes, sorry. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word.
Agent. Nice. That'd be a 22.
Oh man. Tim's using real dice and it is coming out hot.
Well,
Except it's not benefiting me.
So Billy, what do you say to Archie from across the cafe?
Across the cafe, aren't I? Oh yeah, I'm on the other side. Just what he said. Just what I had him say before.
All
Like, oh man, Archie, look at how far you made that frog go. Yeah, you keep it up. Come on, boy, keep it up.
All right, so we're back at the top of the round. Archie has gotten a good strong lead with his sweet talking his frog. However, Dell has taken a very different approach to this and has threatened his frog with certain death if he doesn't move forward, which does seem to be effective. Jakey is absolutely enraptured with his trainer, just like one of those dogs who you're like, you did all the training and you did good, but you're just so happy to be here right now. And you forget that you're actually supposed to run the track. And then Quintilius is fighting with his son. And things are going about as well as you can imagine for that. So we are going to be at the top of the round. It will be Archie's turn, but let's go ahead and take a small 10-minute break. All right, so it is Archie's turn. Archie, you have a 3-inch lead on dead meat.
Archie is
Hashtag
going to,
brand new sentence.
avert his gaze from Billy in a slightly embarrassed fashion, and then whisper into Tobias's ear, "Hey, I don't want to pressure you or anything, but School Dad believes in us." And then roll with advantage.
Yeah.
21.
Ooh, that advantage. Yes.
Phineas looks at you like you're like right face to face with him. He's like, burp, and then hops forward. One space. He doesn't seem enthusiastic, but he also doesn't seem unenthusiastic. He did lick his eyeball.
I mean, to be fair, so would Archie if he could.
Honestly, I wonder what it tastes like.
I mean, you could taste someone else's eyeball.
Tim,
That
you've
is
already gone on
actually
a
a
tangent.
thing that is a thing in Japan. Anyways.
Next time I have a patient in a coma, I know what I'm.
Please don't.
York, it is your turn. Phineas Johansson has just kept his lead going. Dead meat in a close second, with Jakey and Quintilius and Tiffian Melantor the Thor fighting with his father.
In a similar manner, Adele, like, man, you have no idea what you're doing. You might as well quit now. Look at us, miles in the lead. And then he stops for a second, and he's like, "You better stop."
All right, go ahead and give the intimidation. This is to dead meat, correct?
Natural 20.
Oh,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
the stop.
interpretation.
You better stop. Like
Mm,
you
It
got
was
to
just like-
pause for dramatic effect.
Like it was just like the straight up like try me,
Try-
you stupid frog.
Stop that frog! You stop that frog right now! Stop it!
You pick it up by its tiny little back legs. You hold it in place. You wheelbarrow that thing. Jara, the frog is staring deeply into your eyes, and if a frog could smile, it certainly looks like whatever is in front of you. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to run over towards the finish line. And I'm gonna say, all right, okay, we can work with this. Everybody, give me another kiss. On the cheek, mind you.
Brep. Go ahead and roll your animal handling with
Do I have
advantage
to-
this time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait.
What do you add to your D20?
Looks like a 4.
No.
No, he just
Oh,
rolled
I
two
see what
D20s.
I see that now. Yeah.
Is animal handling a charisma check?
Mm-mm.
No, it's
Wisdom.
wisdom. I
Wisdom.
think.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
Then probably 0. So, 15.
It's a what?
Huh?
It was 0.
Yeah.
10.
Jakey, he reaches one floppy paw up to his face, licks it, and throws it over to you.
No, you have to bring me that yourself. Don't be lazy now.
Don't be lazy.
Okay, so now it is Quintilius's turn. You see him reach down and pick up the frog by his front leg, get the frog so close to his lips, like the little frog's ear. If you don't win this race, I will disown you. You will live on the streets for the rest of your life. What you want? Is that what you want, Quintilius? He's gonna drop the frog, and he's gonna roll. So let me pull up his sheet. The frog slaps down on his belly, just onto the ground, and just lays there.
Oh no, that frog.
Freaking kidding me. Dell, it is your turn.
No.
You look to your left, and Archie has taken a single step forward, showing that he has taken the lead. To your right, Janet has run ahead to the finish line. Jara, sorry, has run to the finish line and has left her frog in the dust, who's just standing there blowing her kisses. And Quintilius looks like he's about to step on a frog. What would you like to do?
He is going to look over to the side. Match eyes with Yorick for a second to hesitate, and then try to shake it off. He's going to use Druidcraft to make snarling sounds behind dead meat as
God.
as dead meat goes, rolling with disadvantage.
Oh.
Oh,
Natural
Ah,
one.
natural one with the disadvantage.
Love to see it.
Oh.
You watch as you can see that dead meat heard the roars, because he kind of went stiff, like ready to ready to move. And then in a moment, so many thoughts flooded Dead Meat's little brain. And a single tear ran down his cheek as he thought about his wife and kids that he hasn't seen in probably 3 days, which is a long time for a frog. And how he doesn't know what he's doing here. He got this new job and he's just lost.
Oh,
He looks back at you, Dell, and he hops toward you, toward the sound of the roars.
It's- He's just staring at it like, you want to die?
He hangs his head.
no! Don't make me feel bad for a frog.
I don't want to be winning anymore.
Everyone quits.
It's
The
really
race is
bad.
over. Between this and Quintilius's frog, we're done.
Seeing this, Billy, it is your turn.
I'd already lined it up. Billy is going to heckle Quintilius and just be like, that is no way to inspire enthusiasm. You have
shut the hell up. You're
to
not part of this.
nurture. You have to nurture if you ever want to see them perform. That is no way to talk to your frog.
Are you rich? You don't know.
I am, and I agree.
That he doesn't. Wait. Who do you
Aw,
agree with?
I only rolled a 7 on that one.
I agreed with Billy.
Oh, okay. I'm rich and I agree. You do not understand.
Quintilius looks at you, flips you off, and
Oh,
Archie, it is
now we got a problem.
your turn.
Archie.
Um,
This is it. This is it.
You got 2 more spaces to
Yes,
get.
2 more.
But you-
he'll
healthy lead as compared to Dead Meat's surprisingly unhealthy mental health. I mean, with a name like that,
I mean, yeah.
kind of expected.
Archie will lean down again to Tobias and say, "Hey, Tobias, I found out about the spell where you can summon something called a familiar. I think I might want you to be that familiar for me."
Go ahead and make your roll.
I know we're not doing real turns, but as a can I hold like I don't want the other frog to die. And I have healing word as a bonus action, and
The sounds that the frog has moved toward are just created by Druidcraft, so there's no actual danger of
I mean the one that's about to get stepped on by the
Ah,
suddenly
yes.
less hot guy.
Quintilius the Fourth. In that case, yes, you can hold it as an action if you can
Thanks,
hold it
man.
as a bonus action. That is okay. Now I
It's
feel
a
like
13 on the animal handling.
Tobias gulps. Space. You can see determination. I don't know how a frog looks determined, but Tobias looks determined. Like maybe his eyes just went from kind of more beady to a little bit more focused.
Sweet.
A little bit more squinted, a little bit more eyes on the prize, but Tobias is in it. Yorick, you've seen a little bit of animosity between Billy and Quintilius about how to raise children, or frogs
Frogs.
specifically. Nobody said children. Who's talking about children? What would you like to do?
You clearly got this, as I say that to Archie. I get in his face. Don't disrespect Billy. and I will hold an action to either if he advances towards Billy for whatever reason or the frog, I'm socking him in the face to stop him. So I guess I'm trying to intimidate him. So let's.
Good intimidation. All right, he'll roll with disadvantage on his next turn.
And I'm like staring at him, like I'm uncomfortably close.
Are you still wearing the helmet or did you take that off?
Oh yeah, the helmet.
I guess I didn't say I took off the helmet.
Yeah. So
Noted.
just this
That
giant.
being said, my best of my armor comes off.
All right. Jera, Yorick has stepped over your frog. To try and get into
Carefully.
other face, one of your opponent's faces. But the frog is certainly like Pepe Le Pew, like floating on a stink cloud kind of frog right now.
Well, there are other things that are more important. So Jera is going to rush to dead meat. He's gonna say, "Oh, it's okay. Don't listen to them," and like give you both terrible, like a terribly severe look that you're picking on and intimidating the frog. And she's going to cast heroism on the frog.
nice. I like it. As a note, Delman never said anything out loud. He just cast messages and point his finger.
Well, it's clearly afraid of you.
yeah, it's definitely got some issues.
And we did all hear the growling sounds from Druidcraft.
that you did hear. That you
Yeah.
did hear.
So how many temporary hit points does this little guy get?
A willing creature you touch is endued with bravery. Until the spell ends, the creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier. So 4.
4. So the frog gets 4 extra little. All right.
Immune to being frightened.
He charges you. Come at me, buddy.
Come on.
Quintilius is going to look at you, and he's going to look down at his frog.
You're next, buddy.
Okay. He is going to quietly cast, well, as quiet as you can, cast Mage Hand. And he is
Billy is going to cast Parents Do Have Favorite, so now he has disadvantage on that cast.
we have
Whatever you do with that.
he's okay.
Mage Hand.
But what he's doing doesn't have any advantage or disadvantage. He's just picking up the frog, and it's like, if you won't do it, I'll do it myself. And he is going to move the frog forward.
That's cheating.
Del, your frog at first was looking at you with tearful eyes as he stepped toward the roaring sounds, but his look has changed. He's more focused, and he almost, like, if a frog could square up, he's squaring up.
Dell's gonna be looking at him and Jera. Like, okay, dead meat. Prove yourself.
Did you call
Win this race.
Dead meat turns back around, kicks a little leg out. Go ahead and roll your animal handling.
10.
He goes, "Woof," and then splats on the ground.
Win this race. Dell's just looking at him, finger still pointed toward the finish line, just looking straight down at the frog.
okay. Winning's not everything.
Billy, Archie is close to hit the finish line with Tobias. Dead Meat has fallen flat. Jakey looks extremely excited because Jera is walking back to him. And Quintilius is cheating.
I am going to. Yeah, I'm gonna keep. You said he's cheating. Yeah. Okay. Billy is
I
going
mean,
to
you can
use.
see the hand. So like,
Yeah.
How about that? Is Mage Hand concentration? Anyone who knows it faster than me?
I don't think so.
I have it, and it's not.
No.
Well, I'm gonna try anyway, so you can do with it what you want, John. Billy is going to cast Father's Scold. It is a Constitution save, DC 12.
Okay.
On a fail, he takes psychic damage and has disadvantage on next weapon attack roll before the end of its next turn.
Is it Constitution saving throw?
DC 12.
He got a 17. What were you
That's-
trying to
that's
do?
high.
What was the spell?
It's a recasted frostbite. Failure is 1d6 psychic damage, so it hurts when Dad yells at you. And then you have disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll before the end of its next turn.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
Fortunately, he does pass, but the biting words of what Daddy Billy says still it hurts emotionally. Still, he has steeled himself, but it still hurts a bit. Top of the round, Archie in a beautiful lead with a Quintilius coming in second, technically. What would you like to do?
Archibald will, for the first time in this race, really take a look at what's happening, and just turn to Tobias and say, "Yeah, we should probably just get this over with." Here is that.
Watch this be the first one you fail. Oh my gosh.
No.
Tobias turns and looks at you, looks at everything else that's going on, and just kind of like leans over on his hand, like, no,
Yeah.
it's a good show. It's a good show.
I'm not mad at that.
Okay, Yorick. Quintilius has moved forward, pretty much ignoring you.
yep. I guess I won't move directly with him because I don't want to smush the frog, but I will move directly behind him. And I go to Archie's like, man, you got this. Tobias is the bet set from the beginning. Violet, I knew was gonna win, and try to give you advantage. What did I have to roll for that?
Advantage.
I'm trying to give him advantage. Like I was.
That
Prepping
is
him.
persuasion.
Oh, that's good too. Well, if I roll good, at least. There we go.
Beautiful. You're giving that to Archie.
Yes.
All right. Archie will have advantage on his next roll. Jera, Dead Meat seems to be in much better spirits. Jakey is also in quite good spirits.
What's Quintilius' frog doing?
Being carried.
Floating in a mage hand.
Being carried by his mage hand.
Oh, well, that's a cheater, and that's not fair play. Can I cast Mage Hand? and snatch the
What
frog
is
out of
Mage
his
Hand?
Mage Hand?
If you have the supplies to do so, go right ahead.
There are supplies to cast a cantrip.
No, I'm saying I don't think there are, but you know, you have to have
But
the
double check.
No, it's just verbal and somatic. I remember right.
That is correct.
Okay, I want to pluck the frog from the air and gently set it down and scowl at Quintilius.
He stomps his foot and says, "Why does everybody hate me? What did I do wrong with anybody?" And he is going to try and pull back his frog from your mage hand. Let's
So
do
I'm not going to get into a frog tug of war. I'll
So,
release the frog.
if he tries to yoink it from you, are you going to contest his strength?
Nope,
Okay.
I don't pull the frog in half.
He is going to yoink it from you. But he won't be able to move it forward. He won't have enough time. Dell, dead meat looks kind of like dead meat right now. You can see he's still breathing, but he's kind of
Merp.
He's look at him and like, do you want to win this race?
he shrugs his shoulders.
I cannot help you. Dell's gonna walk out.
Go ahead and roll handle it anyway.
Yes.
Maybe
Sees you're disappointed.
yeah, maybe dead meat needs some.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nope, that
Nope.
did not. Nope.
Dead meat flops on his side and licks a couple of dirt pellets off of the ground. Billy, it is your turn. Dead meat is out of the race? Question mark. Del Carter has left completely.
Billy definitely was like, Dell? And like looks at the frog and is like, well, that doesn't seem fair. Billy is going to go coach Dead Meat.
Yes,
Yeah,
go,
woo!
buddy. Yes.
All right, what would you like to say to Dead Meat?
Billy's gonna kind of squat down. He kind of has that grunt, okay.
Both of his
Don't
knees
worry.
popped when he got down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Billy's like, all right. Dead Meat, not a good name for you. We're gonna rename you. I'm not good with names. My wife named both of my kids. You can be Billy Jr. She wouldn't let me name either kid that. So you are now Billy Jr. And as my frog son, I know you can do this. I know you have it in you to cross that finish line. You don't even have to come in first. It's not about that anymore. It's just about completing what you started. And I know you can do it. And I don't know what my animal handling is because I never used that.
It should be it's wisdom.
Shoot. 11.
Billy Jr. looks at you. He kind of says, he doesn't say it, but you can see it in his eye, like, it's a good try.
Poor frog. I'm gonna give this frog everything he needs.
Archie, your frog is lazing on its side like one of your girls. Not gloating, but also
Mhm.
Yeah.
gloating a little bit.
Archie will tell Tobias, he'll say, so I think when you win this, I'm going to try to get that top hat and those suspenders and whatever that other frog is wearing. And maybe we can get you a whole outfit, you know?
A cape. It was a cape.
The cape. And definitely the cape. And what if you just have like a whole outfit? I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Burp.
Yeah. All right, see if I can finally win this.
You do get advantage.
And we'll. Oh,
Oh, I forgot
Oh,
about
okay.
that. Yeah.
Oh, 21.
There we go. There we go.
Tobias has crossed the finish line. Quintilius goes to kick his frog.
That's in
All
the
right.
air.
Sarah is going to
Going to
get
straight
there.
up drop kick it.
And everyone's like tackling him.
Does a 19
Billy
hit?
is going to definitely use his reaction for that one.
Casting Shillelagh.
So parents
yeah.
do have a favorite disadvantage on that roll, and someone else is going to get advantage. Who's closest? Yorick?
I'm literally on him, and I swung to hit already. So we could see if I get a
Okay, yeah.
nat,
So
nat 20.
he gets disadvantage, and Yorick gets advantage on his next attack roll. Or
Okay.
actually,
Oh well,
whatever.
the second one. 19 was both of them. I rolled the wrong thing on the second one.
Okay. You go to swing, and you end up kind of just like pummeling him into the wall. Didn't really like hurt him, but like there's a wall right here.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of smash him into that, and he kind of falls to the ground, and you fall on top of him, like pinning him down. Jera runs over there, and like holds one of his arms down and picks the frog up, quietly pets him. And in all of this tussle, Archie, you've shillelagh'd your weapon, and you look over at Tobias like, "Are you doing okay?" And you just notice like not him, but like all the frogs are kind of like not ribbiting exactly, but almost like belching in a weird sort of way. Tobias looks at you, kind of a confused look, lets out a brrr, brrr, and his eyes start to glow red. And as you and the other students look on, Quintilius looks into the eyes of Quintilius the Fourth, as its eyes also glow red, and Jakey's eyes glow red, and Billy Jr.'s, and they begin to grow suddenly, shredding their makeshift costumes into giant frogs, and they furiously lash out at the crowd.
Bias, no.
So let me get rid
I'm
of.
done playing tonight. I can't take
Yeah,
this emotion anymore.
Make us fight frogs, man.
So one of them can't attack me.
Well, what you already? Yeah, you charmed
Yeah,
one.
right.
You totally charmed one
And
already.
another one can't be frightened.
And another one that can't be frightened.
Let me move everyone back to where they were.
Also, I don't really have any spell slots anymore, so
Oh crap!
Yeah. I held one and it fizzled out.
That's Bias. This is Billy Jr.
I can do exactly one spell, and I haven't used it.
This is Jakey.
I just
Annoyed
used
I wasted a
cantrips, so
spell
I'm
on frickin' Mage Hand. I forgot it didn't have a.
Quintilius
oh,
Fourth. And let me go ahead and add them some turns. Fighting.
fighting terms.
Add turn. Add turn. Add turn. Add turn. Are they in here? Yep. Okay. So let me pull up their character sheets. Giant frog. And we're going to roll some initiatives. All right. So we got a 16, 16, 20, and 14. Goodness.
That's frogs.
All right. In order. And the beginning of the round begins. So Archie, you are up first. You have these 4 giant frogs that have popped up. Giant frogs are how big? How big are giant frogs? They're medium beasts, so the size of a dog.
Frog.
What would you like to do?
And you said they're actively lashing out.
Yes.
So I have
Yeah.
seen Tobias draw blood. Archie will move close to Tobias and close his eyes and swing his big shillelagh stick. He's gonna have to cane his son.
Quintilius's dream come true.
You know what? You know what? No, I won't give in. He's actually going to. Archie will reach out to Tobias and say, "Tobias, please no." Does Tobias react?
Tobias looks at you, blinks one eye, then blinks the other. Brap.
That's the same brop he gave me when he won the race.
It's deeper though. His vocal cords are significantly larger.
Can I make some sort of animal handling or nature or insight or survival or one of those checks that you make?
Or
Yeah. What do you
To
want to look for?
sorry to see if I'm getting through to the frog.
Go ahead and give me an animal handling check.
Okay,
With advantage.
because he's my friend.
nice.
Oh, it's a 12.
You
Better
look,
than average.
you look into Phineas. You look into Tobias's eyes. And you can see that underneath this kind of rough exterior that has been placed upon him, there's a still docile Johansson in there. You just got to get him out.
Archie will turn to the others and say, "It's not too late for them."
Ooh, you totally saved him. Just all
and-
uphill.
Yeah, that'll be his turn.
All right. That is Jakey's turn. Jakey is going to turn to our friend Quintilius. And
Yeah.
We can let that happen.
he is going to attempt to bite him.
I mean, he's like prone to. It should be like advantage against him.
He is prone, so it is advantage. He got a 19 for 3 piercing damage, and the target is currently grappled. So, okay, Quintilius took some damage. You're
fine.
it. Jakey has kind of shoved you a bit out of the way so that he could bite Quintilius. What would you like to do?
After seeing that happen, I'm like, "Heh." I will force my way through. Wait, who's this one here? Wait a minute. I'm getting these backwards. Who's this guy?
This is Jera. This is Quintilius.
Okay, no, I was right. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'm trying to get to the one that's on Billy,
Okay.
and I would use my bonus action to bring out Storm Color, and I will go for unconscious damage.
Okay.
And then whatever you add to flanking. I'm assuming I'm gonna hit him.
I think you're just going to hit him.
Let's just hit him,
25.
Let's just hit him.
9 slashing damage. How much does he even have? He's still alive.
I actually
Or 10.
I get to reroll one of those dice because it's a 1. I actually can reroll 2 of those dice because they're 1s.
Okay. Wow, these level 1 characters are actually immune to lightning damage. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, that's why I don't have to reroll the lightning. The one lightning damage I did. What is that one? A 6? Okay, so let me 6 for this.
Okay.
So plus
At
4
4.
on the slashing,
Okay.
and then what is it? D4? Yeah, D4. Okay. Big changes.
What
Okay.
was the D4 for?
The lightning. I get to reroll any of my ones on my great weapon.
Okay. So you have +3 to that instead because it took 1 damage already. I'm just adding.
Yes, plus
Already said.
yes. Yeah, so that's 4 lightning damage, and then it gained +4 slashing.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, +4 slashing.
Still up. Billy Jr. is going to turn around and he's going to try and smack you around a little bit. So Mr. Yorick Balladmore does a 14 hit.
It actually does. I will go ahead and use my 1 spell to increase my AC to 5 for the end of the round.
Okay. Tobias's turn. He looks at you, Archie. He looks at you. He looks at me. I look at him. He's gonna try and bite you. He just can't resist the urge to bite you, but he only rolls an 8. So he's not trying too hard. And then Quintilius is going to attack his namesake for an 18 on the die and 2 more slashing damage. And he's double grappled now as 2 frogs are piling up on him. It is his turn. He's going to roll to see if he can break out from underneath them. He fails miserably. Jera, it is your turn.
Who is the most obviously in danger or wounded right now?
Quintilius.
Okay, I am going to use a bonus action to inspire Archie. I'm going to say, "That's the spirit. You can get through to him." And then I'm going to rush to Quintilius and meanwhile, speaking in soothing tones to Jakey, I am going to cast Cure Wounds.
That is so sweet of you.
Well, what you gonna do?
Let me know how
Cast any more spells?
let me know how much health that she gives him. And while she does that math, Dell, it is your turn.
Dill.
First off, give me a perception check.
Because
Because it is loud at the barista. Have you ever been in a Starbucks? They are not quiet.
Well, ooh,
So
Wah,
Dell,
wah.
so Dell's over there. He's like, "So Miss Tanglewood, I hear that there's a job opportunity here. How much does it pay?" and, and that's my turn.
All right. She says, "Well, it depends. If you work the counters, it's 2 copper per shift. If it's
I just lost 2 copper. I'm pretty sure.
Billy, it is your turn. Billy Jr. has taken quite a smacking from Yorick. Jakey and Quintilius are attacking Quintilius. And Jera is just crawling hands and knees under 2 giant frogs. Just barely touch Quintilius to heal him.
9 HP.
Dang, fully heal him.
That's my entire health pool.
It's mine.
that's pretty close.
Billy's thinking.
Billy
Thinking.
is Billy has a hammer. They wouldn't use the hammer.
I mean, you would have saw me like hitting with like the hilt of my, like obviously trying not to kill it.
Yeah. Ah. Billy hasn't been in a lot of battle situations, but I think he'd probably follow Yorick's lead on that. I mean, Yorick looks a little bit more battle ready than Billy feels. Billy doesn't really have anything. It's not going to kill it. So non-lethally, Billy is going to try to mimic Yorick, and that is a D6.
Okay. Go ahead and whack a toad or whack a frog.
Well, I rolled a nat 1.
Ah, and so for the first time of this campaign, the Nat 1 rules come into play. Go ahead and roll me a D8, my friend.
Oh,
If it helps, I do have
Nat
shield still
one
going.
rules.
I'm not sure if Billy has been successful on anything he has tried today.
he inspired people.
He rolled a 2.
All right. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Well, it's non-lethal still.
That's
D6.
all right.
That's actually a decent roll. 7.
Oh, okay.
7.
Okay.
You you like kind of leaned down. You were still kind of leaned down from like messing with Billy Jr. You saw him kind of get beat up by your study buddy. And as you go to raise your hammer to whack him on the back of the head, you actually uppercut him instead, and still end up dealing the damage, just in a way that you were not expecting. So it's a little jarring, but Billy
Billy's
is
like, shit, I did.
Billy
Sorry.
is down. He is not dead. He is just knocked unconscious and reduced to 0 hit points.
Get
But
a thumbs up.
you
from
notice,
Yorick.
you do notice that when this happens, his eyes stop glowing red and return to normal. Archie, it is your turn. Tobias has tried to bite you, but it was more of like a little nibble.
Okay. When Billy Jr. went down and his eyes unredded, did his size go back to small, or did
Right now, he's still his size is the same, I should say.
He's still chonky.
Still-
Archie will say to no, Archie's gonna try to remember the spell and then say the magic words and cast detect magic.
Okay. On what? Just in general, what are you looking for?
He's gonna cast detect magic and kind of look around, see if there is a source of the magic that's affecting the frog, see if it's coming from somewhere.
Yes, you do see a little bit of something. You see that all of the frogs, but you see it mostly over by Billy because he's unconscious and not moving around. They belched out like a strange black oily substance just before they had grown in size and attack that seems to have some kind of that magic mixed in it. It does actually, you know what? Roll me an investigation check.
All right. Investigation +0. Here we go. 7.
Okay. You see that like the oily substance, you kind of take a closer look. It smells kind of slightly sweet, which would make sense that the frogs would try to eat it in that case.
This is a coffee place. Is there like a mug or something within reach, I'm assuming?
Yeah, there would be.
Then Archie will just take the rest of his turn scooping up some of that black substance.
Okay.
And hope that Tobias doesn't eat him.
All right. Jakey is going to take another bite out of Quintilius. And rolls a nat 20. So that hurts. How much health does Quintilius have? Oh, okay.
Full health.
He's got a decent amount. Okay. Not decent amount, but he's got enough that this doesn't immediately kill him. Takes 9 piercing damage. Yorick, it is your turn. Billy Jr.
I'll move over here and begrudgingly, like, I see that Archie's been fine the entire time. And I was like, I don't want this guy to die, I guess. So I think I will hit this one and flank with Jara there. Or Jared, whatever you pronounce your name. Go for some good old unconscious damage.
You're gonna hit Jakey?
If that's this one, yep.
Yes.
12 plus whatever flanking bonus.
Yes, you will hit.
And that will be
13. Nice.
I do reroll one of those dice. The 2 I get to reroll.
You reroll
My
one.
great. I reroll 1s and 2s on damage dice of melee weapons wielded with 2 hands.
Okay. So 13 damage from that, and then plus whatever you're going to add to it.
Yeah, I think so. I'll keep it. I don't think it doesn't say anything, but I'm not re-rolling another one, so the damage stayed the same.
All right. That's Billy Jr.'s turn. Billy Jr.'s down. Tobias Johansson is going to again begrudgingly try and take a bite out of Archie. He rolled a 3. So this one was more of just like a gentle caress. And then Quintilius is going to beat the heck out of his father again. With a nat 1, of course.
Oh.
So let me roll my d8. Starting here.
Boy, if you hit me, you're on your own.
He's going to swing wide and accidentally hit Jera for 2 piercing damage. Sorry, Jera.
He's swinging.
Quintilius is going to attempt to get out from underneath the one frog. The other frog got off to hit Jera. He rolled an 8. That's a fail. Jera, Quintilius the frog has bitten you, but does look apologetic.
Twist the frog. I like this.
All right, so we can move past this, but don't do it again. I'm gonna look around and try to get the attention of both of the frogs. Hey, Jakey, remember we had a connection. Both of you. I'm gonna like try to lead them away from the crowd of people.
Okay. Yeah, you
Yes,
can give me an animal handling check.
I suppose I can, can't I? +0. Do I still have advantage for Jakey? Oh,
You look into Jakey's eyes and you say, come on, come this way. And its red eyes look deep into yours and they form little hearts instead and become black again. And he goes, "Burp," and then tries to full on smooch you. Is docile now. Dell, perception check?
Sure.
I'm not trying to keep you out of the fight, but
Oh
like
no. I mean, no, it's perfect, dude.
11, you hear a loud thump come from the other side of that wall. You can't see anything, but
Mhm. Yeah. He's going to be like, so I can't on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but perhaps I could. He's gonna look. I guess somebody won. So maybe Mondays.
Yes.
And that's my turn.
Yes.
it's excellent. Mondays were always short. Nobody wants to work them. That sounds fantastic. Billy, it is your turn. Billy Jr.'s down. Jakey is enamored with his lover. Quintilius the frog has accidentally tripped and hit Jera. And you don't know what's going on between Archie and Tobias, but it is personal.
So this one over yonder is
Quintilius.
Quintilius. Okay. Yeah, I mean he's gonna continue what he started. Do I have can I non-lethally use a spell attack?
Yes.
Is that a thing? Okay. Okay, yeah. He's going to try to toss a ball of glass at Quintilius.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. So that's what he's gonna do, and that is a range spell. I knew that.
All right. Come on.
Oh
Accomplish
my god.
tonight.
I rolled a 3 plus 4. I rolled a 7.
I didn't know that
Um,
was a good or a bad OMG.
The thump that Dell heard was you just throwing a bowling ball at the wall. And it is currently stuck about 2 feet above Quintilius's head in the wall.
It was just like, oops. I mean, wasn't trying to hit him hard, so my aims was off.
Archie?
Archie will come back up from the floor and say, all right, buddy. Or, all right, buddy. This, I think, is what's causing this. He's going to set it down in a somewhat safe place and say, okay, you can fight this.
Looking deep into Tobias's eyes, go ahead and roll an animal handling check.
Okay.
Now, you might feel somewhat inspired
Oh,
for some reason.
right. What do I get from that?
A D4.
Okay.
Oh yeah, level 1.
19 plus
19.
2, so 21.
21.
Okay.
Tobias looks at you in your eyes as his eyes slowly turn from red to black, and he says, "Burp."
That's the blurb I know.
Jakey hops onto Jera's back in a friendly fashion. And you currently are wearing Jakey as a backpack. Yorick, Jakey has jumped away from you. His eyes are black, you can see that, but I guess you could take an opportunity attack if you wanted to.
Yeah, I was about to ask if I could tell if that was a friendly jump or not. If it wasn't, if I can't tell that, I would definitely go for the hit.
You can see that his eyes are not red.
I will take the gamble that he's all right then.
Okay.
Because I saw that happen when I knocked out that dude. So he's wearing him like a backpack. So I will actually be in that spot then.
Sure.
So then I can boop him. No one's, well, he's grappled, so he's not a threat. So no
He
flanking
is
this
no
time.
longer grappled because Jakey has jumped off of him onto.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do this without doing 5, 10. With aggression on my bonus action, I can wrap around without getting hit. And I will unconscious damage. Swing with Storm Collar.
Okay.
Since these guys have been beaten up, Jerkface McGee, they're actually my favorite at the moment.
15 does hit.
I don't reveal any of that, so that's
15. Okay.
that's that.
Still up, barely. Quintilius the fourth is going to then try and bite you, York, who still has shield up. Is that correct?
It would no, it
would've gone
it's
down.
one turn.
Okay. There's a 16 hit.
Yep.
All right. That is going to be 4 piercing damage, and you are grappled by our friend.
Sounds good.
Quintilius is going to stand up and in a rage, not literally a rage, but in a rage,
Surprise barbarian.
he is going to cast magic. He's going to use his magic flare, which is a melee weapon attack, on his son. Let's see. Nope, don't want that. Want this. That was a 17 to hit and 13 force damage to poor little Quintilius. And that was not unlethal damage. As he slaughters your friend, Quintilius the fourth.
I mean, is he taking death saving throws?
Frog's dead.
Frog's dead.
Joe's next to call it time of death. It's over. You can't do anything.
Bro, read the room.
That takes us out of initiative. You notice now, as some time has passed, Billy Jr., Jakey, and Tobias Johansson have begun to shrink back down to their regular sizes.
And just in case something happens in between here, I'm going to use second wind to heal. Just wanted to throw that out there.
That's fine. You can do second wind. Nothing else is going to happen. Or will it?
Oh, I'm full health by a lot.
All right. Billy Jr. goes here, Tobias Johansson goes here, and Jakey goes here. All right. You guys have raced your frogs. You have staved off the giant frog infestation, I guess. Dell got a job. And Archie, I think you have a new familiar.
Heck yeah.
Totally wasn't planning on making Quintilius a bad guy, but he
I know. I was like, I like this
We did
guy,
that.
and now I hate this guy.
We did that to him.
I just thought like everybody else is doing their thing with the this will be the end of our session, of course. But I was just thinking like everyone else is doing their own thing with the frogs. Like, what would Quintilius do? What would be like out of left field, but also like that tracks.
I was expecting like to sing him a song or something was what I thought he was gonna do.
I like immediately
he
it
was the guy
informs
with
so
the,
much about his character because you're like, oh, that's why he's the way he is because his dad was like that, huh? Which, yeah, Billy is now. Now I'm like, okay, I might have to change a few things. Billy does not like Quintus, but is also like he just needs a positive male role model.
Yeah,
So.
Dale's still fine with Quintilius, honestly.
Yeah.
That was such a good turn.
Since Dell was just like, run for your life, frog. It was a good
York's like thought
strategy.
process.
If you hadn't
Yeah,
rolled
it
that nat one, he probably wouldn't have become suicidal necessarily.
Yeah, just the way that the dice roll, just continuously bad and bad is like, yeah, there we go.
I have to say, so I probably took more notes on this battle than I ever have. And it had some of the best one-liners. And I had to write all of them down.
Oh,
And
damn.
freaking Archie gets the vast majority of them. And I'm just
Oh,
like,
yes,
these are all so good.
Oh,
It's
yes.
a lot of fun. It was a lot of character growth, and character expose on everybody's parts. How do you urge a frog to win a race?
I
Yeah.
also didn't expect York to be a frog protector, so I guess that's a thing.
I think that's just a thing now. That's official.
Well, like his mindset was like, pick it on the weak shows your weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, yeah, fuck this guy. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. That's weird to think. Like, I guess I protected those frogs.
Yeah, I like how everybody's characters were reacting so differently, but so perfectly with their personalities. People are just going all over the field, going all over the place, doing different things, and switching up frogs back and forth.
Well, the race really should have been, like a whistle or something should have been blown when like 9 people walked onto the.
Yeah, right. Yeah, in the
When
actual like
Delius
6
started
seconds.
cheating, just lifting the frog up and moving it himself.
At that
Well,
point, people were they're just
sounds
like,
like-
whatever.
It sounds like York and Archie won the pot, though, so we need some money.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Do I
yes.
get my winnings?
You
That's true.
do. Your
What
winnings.
do you think about money in a time like this?
Pot is a sack of cash from all of the students that were around, and it totals 30 gold pieces.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness.
There you
People-
go.
They're putting that real money on that.
So we just go half and half, or
I would encourage you to take 5 more because you did most of the work.
yeah,
Only
okay, that's
5,
fair.
though. Any more than 5, and we'll have a problem.
He'll drop the 6th coin back into the bag.
I mean, I wouldn't care. I don't think I would carry it away, to be honest. So
20 gold. That's more than I've ever had in my life. Awesome.
sweet. Now it's time to go buy a.
Hey, the session's
Primer.
over. No more characters.
Oh, you already have a primer. Never mind.
Yeah, I do have a primer. Oh yeah, I need to choose a spell for that. So many options.
How much do the primers cost? Asking for a friend.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I want to say it was 10 gold, but I could be wrong. That link didn't show up in Chinese. That's a step in the right direction.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say they were 10 gold each.
And the coffee thing.
That one was 20 gold.
Ooh.
Because that's like a college student's like dream. Cup of coffee that never goes away. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll write a letter by Owl and be like, Mom, Dad, gold, please, coffee.
As a note, Dell's actually gonna switch to Fridays instead of Mondays. Just, so you know. Just
You-
throwing that out there.
Do you have a schedule?
Yep, I'm writing it down.
Oh yeah, can I get my my class schedules? I can fill out my character sheet schedule.
Most of your beginner classes are on Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, horticulture club is perfect then.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How
that's
many hours of